we had talked before and had a question about connecting what you're sharing with what is going on in the news this week. You have worked with folks who've been traumatized by very significant events that have taken place, right? And we know, and I know you could speak more about too, the brain chemistry is altered by trauma. Um, and now we're embroiled in a conflict of racial justice that is not new at all, but is permeating all of our sound waves again. And of course, our youth are hearing this and are being affected by this and don't perhaps have the same coping strategies that they normally do because of COVID. So I guess I'm wondering, can you share a little bit about how the conversation of racial justice and the nationwide events seem to intersect with your work around trauma and anxiety and how those things might interplay?
What a great question and such a timely one. I mean, honestly, identity is so important to all of us. And we know that when you have a solid sense of who you are, that identity becomes a protective factor. And I think what's happening now is really kind of forcing us to look at our identities and look at the stories that we've been told, how they were told, who was telling what story at what time. And we're also seeing such I think, a lack of comprehensive understanding of what's happening. I've seen lots of people really, hone in on the looting and the rioting. Yes, that part is really destructive, but what came before that is the racism, as you talked about, that's existed in this country for years. And so, how is this all impacting our students? My goodness, how is it not? Right? First, you had the pandemic where you are highly you're trying to navigate new waters, trying to figure out, wait, I don't want to mess up my future. I do need to engage in these studies that are happening virtually. And yet I'm so lonely and isolated. Maybe I'm in a situation where the family is experiencing food insecurity, survival mode, which literally means you're doing everything you can just to survive. And so all of that impacts us in so many ways, and the anxiety is off the charts right now, off the charts. And I don't even know if we as adults understand how to deal with all of this, let alone our students. And yet, what's so important is they're looking to us to see a model of how to deal with everything that's going on. And I think this conversation, that's why it's so timely and so important. Um, yeah.